Alright, welcome to the South Defense Channel, where today we're jumping straight into some rather extraordinary claims. Yes, we're talking about bold statements coming directly from the Iranian Army's Public Relations Office, full of jaw-dropping assertions. Specifically, Iran says it has shot down some of Israel's top-of-the-line F-35 fighter jets. Now, given the reputation of the F-35 Lightning II, that's a huge claim. Today, we're unpacking exactly what they're saying. No spin, no outside additions. Just the Iranian statements, laid bare. Picture this. You've built the world's most advanced stealth aircraft, cutting edge, invisible to radar, nearly untouchable. Yet Iran claims, even suggests, they've tracked and killed these jets using their air defenses. If true, this would shatter the narrative of stealth dominance. Imagine record of hitting two F-35s on a Friday, and another the next day, Saturday. Plus drones, all allegedly in retaliation for an early Friday aggression by the Zionist regime. But the details are even more stunning. Iran says those jets were carrying out a full-blown strike, leading to massive casualties. High-ranking commanders, nuclear scientists, civilians. Today we're diving deep. What exactly do these statements say? How do things line up with known F-35 capabilities? And how plausible is all this in reality? Let's set the stage. These claims come straight from Iran's Army PR office, meaning hardline rhetoric designed for public messaging. They outline a series of engagements that presumably started with an aggressive Israeli strike on Friday morning. The strikes, Iran claims, prompted their air defenses, which responded forcefully. We're going to go line by line through the actual statements to see what's being said and what isn't. The central bullet: we successfully targeted and destroyed Israeli F-35 fighter jets. They even specify numbers. 2 F-35s were downed on Friday, another one on Saturday. Plus, several drones were shot down in the same time frame. They frame all of this as a response, retaliation for early morning aggression by the Zionist regime. Then they move to detail casualties. High-ranking Iranian commanders, nuclear scientists, civilians, a blow they're linking directly to that strike. We've got a narrative. Israeli aircraft strike Iranian territory, Iran's defenses thwart them, allegedly down multiple advanced jets and drones, inflict heavy casualties. Now, let's zoom in on the centerpiece, the F-35 Lightning II. A Lockheed Martin Marvel, fifth-generation stealth fighter, Israel's top answer to air dominance since 2016 via U.S. foreign military sales. These aren't just any jets, they're engineered to slip past sophisticated air defenses to perform deep penetration missions. That's the very essence of their design. Inside enemy airspace, unseen and unscathed. And Tehran's line is bold. Despite that cutting-edge stealth, their air defenses tracked and took down not just one, but multiple F-35s. And not theoretically, they say it actually happened. Here's how stealth works. Reduce radar cross-section, absorb radar, angle surfaces to reflect away, essentially not being seen. But that only works if the adversary doesn't have extremely wideband, networked sensors. Modern integrated air defense systems, like S-300 or newer S-400 analogs, use radars from multiple bands, infrared search and track, RSD, passive sensors, over-the-horizon systems. In theory, a layered defense can pick up even stealth aircraft by fusing data from dozens of sources. Yes, in specialist circles, experts often say, stealth isn't invisibility, it's ultra-reduction of visibility. But even then, hitting a highly stealthy jet in real-world scenarios is still rare and intensely scrutinized. Iran routinely points to systems like the S-300 imported from Russia and domestically designed equivalents as part of their defense matrix. They've also said publicly they use advanced small satellite systems for tracking. Bear in mind, this narrative is straight from IRGC propaganda, so we have to treat it. But in Western analyses, there's often skepticism. These systems could produce a false positive, or at least distort radar returns. There's also the possibility of conflating drone losses with fighter jet losses. Another detail: Iran says the fate of the pilots is unknown and under investigation. Normally, if a stealth jet crashes, wreckage and often a pilot, dead or captured, would surface quickly, especially in F-35 with global attention. Why no footage? No images of wreckage? No pilot captivity confirmed by third-party observers, even local journalists? Definitely raises questions. Let's talk media verification and the difficulty there. During any active conflict, especially involving U.S. ally Israel and Iran, The fog of war and info warfare is thick. We've seen inflated claims before, from both Israel and Iran, for morale, propaganda, or to shape international perception. Independent organizations like open-source analysts, NGOs, or UN monitors would need debris, radar data, eyewitness accounts, something concrete. But in conflict zones, airspace is contested, recording is rare, and Iran has history of exaggeration in public military communication. I wanted to see what public defense analysis says. I dug through expert commentary. It would be unprecedented, but not impossible. If Iran has truly managed to integrate layered sensors with targeting solutions, they could theoretically detect and defeat an F-35. Even Russia has never publicly confirmed shooting one down. The logistics of recovery, the diplomatic fallout, this would be huge. Notice there's no full-throated denial from Israeli or Western sources yet, just controlled silence. In past cases, when an F-35 goes down, the U.S. Air Force or Israeli Air Force publicly acknowledges it, or at least there's a major intel leak. We're not seeing that here. Imagine we were in a verification lab. What evidence would make the claim credible? On-site wreckage with serial numbers, identifiable hardware. Radar tracks, open-source data, or leaks from third-party sensors. Pilot testimony, interviewed, profiled, released by Iranian media. Satellite imagery showing crash site, debris field. Eyewitness reports from locals or coalition allies on site. Without at least one of those, the claim remains unverified and maybe even implausible. Let's step back from technicalities. What's in it for Iran? Even if only partially true, this narrative achieves several strategic goals. Domestic morale, project strength, tech advancement. Regional deterrence, signaling cost to any future Israeli action. Global image building, portraying Iran as a serious peer in modern warfare. Even if only half true, the claim can shift how adversaries, like Israel or the U.S., perceive Iran's air defense threat envelope. Historically, no country has publicly confirmed shooting down a fifth-generation jet like the F-2 or F-35. In the 1990s, Iraq claimed to down a U.S. F-117, same stealth legend, but independent evidence suggested it was more likely wreckage from earlier times. We do, however, have records of near misses, Su-27S intercepting F-117, Russian S-400 tracking F-35S tracked, not shot down. Iran saying they succeeded in both detecting and shooting down. That would be a first. Let me play devil's advocate. Suppose Iran mistook a different aircraft for an F-35, like a conventional fighter, or even capturing telemetry from ground signals and guessing wrong. Or they shot down drones, but called them jets for influence. Or they used the narrative to obscure something else, like missile defense testing or a classified exercise. These are all valid alternate possibilities, especially in the absence of hard proof. So here's what's clear, based solely on what Iran is saying. They shot down 2 F-35S on Friday, 1 more on Saturday, plus drones. Context: done in retaliation for a Friday morning strike. Casualties: high-ranking officials, nuclear scientists, civilians. Pilot status: unknown, under investigation. Big claim: Iran says it's the first time ever a fifth-generation jet was downed. These are the facts of the statements themselves. Now, what they actually reflect in reality, that's murkier. Stealth is less about being completely invisible and more about making detection harder. Modern air defenses are improving. Layered sensors are more widespread. But independent proof is crucial before we declare a paradigm shift. Here's your invitation. Critically evaluate both capability and confirmation. Think about how powerful narratives can become, especially in wartime, and how easily they can shape understanding, even with limited real-world evidence. So what's my take? Iran has made a headline-grabbing claim. Technically, they could have layered early warning, RSD, and overlapping radar to track an F-35. But shoot it down? That is still marked unverified. Without debris, pilot data, credible independent sources, we can't call it a done deal. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. Deep analysis takes work, and your support matters. You think Iran is bluffing? Or altogether telling the truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get a respectful discussion going. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for more South Defense breakdowns, where we stick only to what sources say and help you parse fact from fiction.